My father wrote me an email saying how much this reminded him of Vietnam. And so that had an influence on me in terms of, hey, let's really think about this. Do you want to be in this position 5, 10, 15 years from now where you believe this was wrong and you didn't say anything? Dear Ambassador Powell, it is with great regret and disappointment I submit my resignation from my appointment as a political officer in the Foreign Service and my post as a senior civilian representative for the U.S. government in Zabul province. I find it, as I said, specious, this argument that garrisoning Afghanistan is going to make us safer because it doesn't defeat al-Qaeda, it doesn't destroy al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda does not operate that way any longer. They don't need ties to a geographical or a political state to be successful. I have doubts and reservations about our current strategy and planned future strategy. If you follow my argument, or not just my argument, a lot of people's argument that our presence only fuels the insurgency because we're occupying force and we're taking one side in the civil war, then adding more troops into Afghanistan will simply grow the number of people fighting us because, quite simply, all we're going to do is push into more valleys where we haven't been before, which will cause more people to fight us. In both RC East and South, I have observed that the bulk of the insurgency fights not for the white banner of the Taliban, but rather against the presence of foreign soldiers. You would ask people what you thought about the American presence, and it comes back, you guys are occupying us. And you're supporting a central government that doesn't represent us. It's a central government that's composed of people from the north or people from an urban elite within Pashtun society that has been at war with rural, traditional, religious Pashtuns for decades now. Our support for this kind of government, coupled with a misunderstanding of the insurgency's true nature, reminds me horribly of our involvement with South Vietnam. I'm really afraid that we're going to get this point 4 years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to say, what did we do? What did we get out of this? All we have is more dead, more money spent, and we're no better off than we were in 2009. We are mortgaging our nation's economy on a war, which even with increased commitment, will remain a draw for years to come. Success and victory, whatever they may be, will be realized not in years, after billions more spent, but in decades and generations. We're looking to possibly put 40,000 troops, and McChrystal's request went all the way up to 100,000 troops, into Afghanistan, a war we've been in for 8 years, where we've had over 900 dead, spent billions of dollars. If we put those 40,000 troops in there and commit to 4 or 5 more years, we're looking at possibly 50 or 60 dead a month. I can't understand any justification why this would not be debated on the floor of the House of the Senate, other than for petty and frankly cowardly domestic political concerns. The dead return only in bodily form to be received by families who must be assured their dead have sacrificed for a purpose worthy of futures lost, love vanished, and promised dreams unkept. I have lost confidence such assurances can any more be made. As such, I submit my resignation. Sincerely, Matthew P. Ho, Senior Civilian Representative, Zabul Province, Afghanistan. President Obama, sir, I urge you to be a great leader. Recognize where we're at in Afghanistan. Recognize that more troops are only going to make the problem worse. They're not going to destroy al-Qaeda, and it's not going to stabilize Pakistan. And I will ask you to stop combat operations in villages and valleys where our troops are dying only because the people who are fighting us there are fighting us because they're occupied.